Welcome to VMblog's coverage of IGEL Now Next, taking place in Miami, Florida at the Fontainebleau. Today I have with us IGEL. Welcome.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Who are you and what's your role at IGEL?
Sure. So I am James Millington. I am Vice President of Industry Solutions and Product Marketing here at IGEL.
Now, this has been an incredible event so far.
Yeah,
We've
really have.
Two very long keynotes. But I mean, you've had so many announcements and things that came up during the show that it's really been wonderful.
I hope so. I hope for everybody in the room. It's record-breaking, I hear, is the keynote. So yeah, I think there's been a lot of great content. I think what everybody hopefully is taking away from this is, a little over a year ago, Klaus took the stage as the new CEO and really started unveiling the vision around the preventative security model and where IGEL was going to be heading. And what I hope that everybody takes away from what they saw over the last 2 days is the realization of that vision. So the preventative security model has three core components. First is the application delivery strategy. We saw Omnissa on stage, we saw Microsoft on stage, we saw Island on stage. So whatever that application delivery strategy is, taking that, bringing it to what we now call the IGEL Adaptive Secure Desktop. So this is that step forward of the PSM. Let's take that application delivery strategy, apply it to whatever the use case is that the user needs, and deliver just what they need for that strategy. Combine that with the second part of the preventative security model, which is the security management and compliance aspects of that. So we saw Zscaler on stage, which is a new partner for us. We saw the announcement of the Palo Alto Prisma secure browser on stage. We saw, again, Omnissa talking about the new Workspace ONE UEM integration. So again, that step forward. Let's bring these elements together. Let's apply them to the adaptive secure desktop, just as the user needs it for their use case. And that third aspect is the hardware. So we saw, again, the HP, LG, Lenovo, great announcements on the hardware, and a new device from Lenovo today that's going to ship a little bit later in the year, designed for IGEL. So all these elements coming together, and in my part of the keynote, I spoke about delivering a desktop that is fit for purpose. A quality desktop. If anybody's read the Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance,
love that.
About quality and fit for purpose. Is your enterprise endpoint fit for purpose? Is it secure? Is it helping you from a financial aspect, the TCO of it? And I also covered off the sustainability impact and how IGEL can help. So, a long answer, but the realization, the preventative security model, bringing that forward, delivering on that with our partners, and laying out the vision for where we're going next.
And kind of where we're going next, I heard a lot about the browser kind of being more important.
Yeah.
It's really your central app that really needs to become the core.
Yeah.
And also AI was also another big topic.
Yeah. So we're taking a pragmatic approach on AI at the endpoints at the moment. So there's three different ways that we see AI affecting. The first is the bad guys using AI to attack the endpoint. So again, in my keynote, I had a data point from IBM, which is 90% of breaches start from the endpoint. We've heard about bad guys using AI to craft their social engineering attacks in a better way. The joke used to be, or the way of spotting an attack was, is it a badly spelled email that you're getting with typos and bad grammar? Well, they've gone. So the bad guys are using AI now to create better attacks, and that has been proven out, I believe, by the breach data and the number of breaches that were reported from 2023 to 2024 stayed about level. But what changed is the number of breach notifications that went out in 2024. That's up by 312% for US citizens.
It's staggering.
So this is the bad guys getting smarter, using the tools and being more effective with the attacks that they're doing. So that's the first point. Having a secure endpoint OS as your foundation that follows all the principles of the preventative security model and is, no local data storage, is read-only, is this modular by design, only deliver what the user needs, the adaptive secure desktop. Just what the user needs to run there is the foundation for protecting against that. So that's that first bubble of AI. The second area is at the moment, a lot of the LLMs are running in the cloud. Everybody's heard of, all of the processing that's required in the cloud to do this. I think what we're going to see and what the hardware vendors are already building in is the ability to run those LLM workloads at the endpoint. And they are delivering endpoint devices that have the MPUs in them. So expect those workloads to start migrating. As somebody said to me, actually, as Matthias said to me, we've already seen the same thing, certainly in the VDI and EUC world, with GPUs.
Right.
You could have VDI desktops that could run very graphically intensive workloads, but it was really expensive to do that. So we wrote all of the GPU offloading to use the local resources. But I think it's going to be the same kind of model that we see with AI, and it'll start using the LLMs at the endpoint. Now, the challenge with that, again, is you are putting some kind of data, some kind of precious information towards the endpoint, again, when you're doing that. So again, secure endpoint is the foundation for doing that. The next piece is one of the, for us in how we're going to use AI, is with the Insights announcement that we made. So this is the creation of a huge amount of telemetry that is combining both the IGEL endpoint and also the management from the UMS, all of that management data. So two things that we're going to see here is the first, we're going to see a dashboard inside UMS where we show performance information, health information, that kind of information that's useful for the administrator. And part of that will be AI based in how we can better interpret the data for the admin, show them, summarize and provide actions. But we're only anticipating at the moment that we will use about 30% of the data that we collect. And the other key element of Insights is an API that will be made available to all of our DEX, SIMSOAR type partners, so we can feed a really rich set of information to those partners that they can then combine with other elements from the infrastructure and put those all together, again, to make actionable insights across the platform.
Right.
So an area there where we can use AI, an area there where we can, again, it's this focus on partners and that we are better together with partners. Zero trust is driving a lot of the discussion. No one company can deliver zero trust for you. It's about the partnerships, and again, the PSM brings that, all of that, codifies that into the way that we work and the way that we view our industry relationships, and make sure that that is our North Star in how we work.
So one of the things that I heard in the keynote that was kind of surprising is that there's still a lot of companies that, manufacturing and where they're running old versions of Windows and even DOS. What is IGEL doing in regards to that?
Yeah, so this is one of the significant announcements that we made. So in Munich last year, we had Audi on stage talking about how they were using IGEL in their production lines, in their manufacturing lines. And increasingly, we're seeing this convergence of what is traditionally the OT, the operational technology environments, which is things like manufacturing and things like biomedical teams in healthcare, and they've always been highly separated. They've, IT and OT, never the twain shall meet. Traditionally, the OT teams have reported up into the facilities teams of an organization, because they're also running things like your HVAC, your heating and lighting, your door entry systems, for example. Well, these IT and the OT networks are converging. They're coming together, and increasingly those teams are reporting into the CISO. And the CISO now has the challenge of how they are going to secure these environments. But what we've also heard is that these environments, they're built to run a piece of software for 10 to 15 years. So a lot of them are running on legacy Windows operating systems. And they have a very practical problem, which is they can't find hardware to run the old versions of Windows. Windows XP doesn't run on a TPM2 chip. So they came to us and asked, is there a way that IGEL can help? They don't want to necessarily rewrite these applications. This is kind of the problem.
Right.
They don't want to rewrite them, but they need a way to be able to run them. So today we announced the IGEL Managed Hypervisor. This is an endpoint hypervisor that is managed from the UMS. So the UMS can deploy a hypervisor which runs on top of OS 12. They can then deploy a Windows image on top of that, and that allows organizations to run the old versions of Windows on newer hardware, solving this issue for them. But it also brings the benefit that it's centrally managed, so those Windows updates can be deployed. In the event that something happens to that, we can just reboot it and restart to the known good instance of Windows, so an immutable version of Windows. And also underneath it, of course, is IGEL OS, so the preventative security model, the secure endpoint OS, to provide that layer of security. So, again, a really big announcement for us, a really big development that again has been customer driven, and we are in conversations we're having with customers, we're seeing all sorts of new use cases appearing for this. So there's going to be more to come over the next 6 months as we build into the Frankfurt event.
Great. Well, it's always been a pleasure speaking with you. And before we let you go, where can people go if they want to find out more information about some of the upcoming IGEL events and things that you guys are doing?
Yeah, so obviously go take a look at the website. On the website there will be the recap of this event, and you will be able to sign up and watch all of the sessions. So I would urge anybody, go take a look, look at the keynote sessions, look at these panels, and let us, provide us with feedback. What do you want to see at these events? How can we make it better for you when you're attending? Let us know what you thought.
Great. Always a pleasure.
Thanks very much. Thank you.